What's up, YouTubeites? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box presents the CovrPrice Top 10 for the week ending January 9th, 2022. I keep in my documents in the description, I kept on putting 2021. Kind of like back in the day, remember when you used to actually write things and you had to write a date for those who remember what checks were, and you had to write a check and you put a date on it. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. We got a really cool show for you. You know what I forgot to do? Let me put the over-under on Star Wars books at, I don't know, 5.5. That's a lot, but You never know what's going to happen. So while you guys are congregating, man, I think it's just time for you to say the word. You know what I'm saying? So sit back, relax, congregate, put in your guesses over-under 5.5 Star Wars books. We got a lot of good guests on there, almost evenly. I would say mostly overs, right? We'll see.
I mean, if you saw last week's episode, you might have an idea.
Or if you have any type of social media account at all. Once again.
Yeah, right.
Jesus Christ. All right, this show sponsored by our good friends over at CovrPrice.com. Sign up for a 2-week free trial or for the low price of... you can't even get the McRib anymore. Rest in peace to the McRib for at least another 6-7 months. I don't know why you can't do it all year round.
Till you be back again.
Price guides, collections and trends, movers, shakers, and this here top 10 list. The show is also sponsored by our good friends over at KRSComics.com. Go to KRSComics.com. Use discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off cool stuff like this.
Dope.
And that.
Sweet.
This is first appearance of Queen Goblin, by the way, and I believe there's still some cover A's that are available. This one is still available as well. Only ones that sold out were the signed set unit, signed sets. So head on over there, use your discount code LOTLB. And tomorrow, keeping in theme with, if you watch the end of the year list, you notice that Spider-Man was clearly the winner of the year. But Spider-Man, Miles, Spider-Man 2099, all that good stuff. Well, guess what? There's going to be an Edge of Spider-Verse #2 Mike Mayhew facsimile variant. That's right. This drops. So basically, you see it. It says Edge of Spider-Verse, Gwen Stacy. So it's a facsimile cover reprint, whatever you want to call it, of Edge of Spider-Verse #2. Still looks dope. To me, damn, they should have made this glow in the dark. It would have been a dope glow in the dark cover.
Really cool.
Don't tell everybody it may come out.
Yeah. So tomorrow,
I want her without the mask.
Yeah. So Wednesday at noon, 9 Pacific. That would be great if they did like another version where it's unmasked in the same pose, right? You know, like a 1 in 100 or something crazy like that. So yeah, make sure you go peep it out, man. Later on in the show, I'm going to show you some preview art from Mikey Sutton's new comic Dreamwalker, which drops right around Valentine's week or so. And it looks, well, I'll just show it right now, man. You know what? I'll wait for the masses to show up before I do it. But let's get right to it, man. This is the Cover Price Top 10 for the weekend in January 9th. So we look at the biggest sales in conjunction with units moved as well as percentage of price jump. And as always, we have a runner-up to the top 10. And Zach, I do believe, is doing the first one. What do we got for this week's runner-up?
Yes, so you shouldn't be surprised. The number runner-up is
wait. Let's give people a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the second episode of the Book of Boba Fett, then you may not want to watch this show. Because let's just say a couple of books are influenced by that series, but I probably read that a little bit too late. But go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Zach. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so spoiler alert a little bit here. So, but anyway, runner-up is Star Wars number 20, the Mike Mayhew sketch 1 in 100. Book of Boba Fett episode 2 surprised everyone and briefly introduced Black Kurzastan. I don't even know how to pronounce it. A Wookiee bounty hunter. Many had speculated that we would see BK at some point in all the various Star Wars content. However, it was thought that the most likely show would be Obi-Wan. Yet here he was, a guard to Jabba the Hutt's cousins. This brief and menacing appearance set his various key appearances and covers on absolute fire. While the Alex Ross covers for Darth Vader number 1 are the most expensive, it's hard to find 1 in 100 high ratio for such a late issue. Takes the runner-up spot as it quickly climbed in prices. 16 copies sold the 7-day trend of 282% at a high sale of $130.50 for a raw copy.
And I gotta say, he looked pretty badass. I mean, the Wookiee whatever costume has really gotten better since 1977.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Real good.
It looked really dope, man. It looked dark and menacing. And I can guarantee nobody was specking. I'm gonna go with Zach and on BK when first appearance came out. And everybody was like Dr. Aphra, but nobody really cared about. BK. We'll just go with BK. How do you say it, Justin?
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum. There you go. But yeah. Wookiees have a rich history in the Star Wars universe. There's also a Wookiee Jedi, which we had on our long-term spec list a while ago. That's something you may want to look into when they start doing these old Republic stories. There is a Wookiee Jedi. How badass is that? A Wookiee Jedi. All right, so number 10 on the list is Star Wars number 20, the Mike Mayhew 1 in 100 variant. Apropos that we had Mike Mayhew on there, and we talked about this Mike Mayhew variant that's dropping on Tuesday at Wednesday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Use down code LOTOB. Save yourself some ducats for this gorgeous one. But right back to this one. So now runner up is Star Wars number 20. I wonder what number 10 is. What do we got for number 10?
Well, starting our top 10 off this week, Star Wars Darth Vader number 3. And while Black Chrysanthemum gets plenty of attention this week, fans immediately knew what his appearance could mean, specifically whether or not Dr. Aphra exists in this world. Having closely worked with BK through her various series, this appearance does lend proof to her existence and possible future appearance in good old Boba Fett. Here, her first appearance sold 50 copies, had a 7-day uptick of 131% and a high sale of $533 for a CGC 9.8.
Woo. Time to get mine graded. I also have the second print variant. I think the fourth print variant is the one that's blown up, right? Was that the one on the end of the year list? I'm trying to think. There was a fourth print variant for this one as well. And this
third
is
or fourth. Yeah, it was a purple one, right?
Yeah, and this is the regular cover. I mean, the variant cover used to be the one that was for more. That the variant cover is the one with Darth and Luke on it, correct? Or did I get that back vice versa?
That's the one with Aphra hanging down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Darth Vader on top of the.
Yeah, it's kind of like an homage to Empire Strikes Back when Darth Vader was fighting Luke Skywalker. But for a while, that one was always worth more because it was a racial variant. I think this is cover A, no? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, so because stupid me, I have 2 of the other covers, so I'm getting them all graded. And yes, there will be a video. I went through my long boxes and I just said, man, I have a ton of stuff that's mostly modern that I haven't gotten graded yet. And time to get off my ass and do in 2022. Ooh, I don't know. Poe didn't even know it. All right,
Trademark.
so number 10 number 10 on the list is Star Wars Darth Vader number 2. And if you're playing at home, that's 2 so far, and the over under is 5.5. What do we got for number 9?
Star Wars book, everyone. We got Star Wars number 14 from Marvel Comics back in 2015. So pretty much any cover with BK on it was hot last week. However, and if you have a great, fantastic cover like this done by the one and only Mark Brooks, and it features our favorite classic Wookiee Chewbacca fighting the new Wookiee Black Chrysanthemum. Well, you have the heat on this book. This helped this copy move 77 copies last week. 7-day uptrend of 195% and a high sale of $30 for a raw copy.
It's a sweet cover.
You know
Yes,
what?
it is.
I'm not doing too bad this week. I'm 2 for 3. I'm 2 for 3, man. I just don't have that 1 in 100, but definitely. Yeah,
not.
Mark Brooks killed it on the covers on some of these Star Wars books. There's a dope negative cover. If you know, it's Luke, Han, and Leia, and it's a white and black. But not black and white cover, but they're in white stormtrooper outfits, and then the negative parts are in white and black. I'll show you guys. It's a dope cover. But Mark Brooks used to be. I don't know. He hasn't seen. To me, he doesn't seem to be as prolific as he used to be. But Mark Brooks is easily one of my favorite cover artists. Man, he gets down, very detailed. Love the colors of pop. All right. So number 9 on the list is Star Wars number 14. I got another one on the list. Wow, it's a good time. All right, what do we got for number 8? I wonder what it could be.
Well, Star Wars number 13, the Clayman connecting variant cover. So initially, this was considered the first cover appearance of BK. However, that was quickly corrected with the confirmation of Star Wars Vader Down number 1, Z-Box variant and the Mile High variant holding the honor. Yet it was a tad late for those who bought 23, giving it a 7-day trend of 655% and a high sale of $43 for a raw copy.
So here's something interesting that you say that Darth Vader Down is the first appearance of BK.
Cover.
I have the Disney Parks exclusive variant of that, meaning you could only buy it at Disneyland or perhaps Disney World. They didn't sell it at any of the comic book shops. And I'm trying to think on that issue of Vader Down, because I also have the regular editions of Vader Down. The really that variant doesn't have him on the cover, which sucks. I was just thinking because it would be super rare because they're when you go, I don't know if you guys ever been to like the Disney parks when they have a Star Wars store, or they sell like now they sell a lot of Marvel comics too, but they used to sell Star Wars comics, and they used to have there's a little logo on there that says a Disney Parks exclusive variant on it. So I have the Vader Down, but unfortunately, BK is not on the cover. So darn it. Because I was just looking at them today. I was like, do I have this? Do I have this? All right. So number 8 on the list is Star Wars number 13, Clayman. What a name. Connecting cover C variant. So it looks like not only we getting first appearances and all, but we're getting like cover appearances of, we're just going with BK because we don't know how to pronounce chrysanthemum. All right. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4 already?
4
Man. Well, guess what? Number 7 is not a Star Wars book, but it sounds like 4.
Yeah, and I guess there's a spoiler alert for this one too, since I think it just came out. So if you're reading Thor 20, you haven't read it yet, press pause. Breaking up the Black Chrysanthemum heat is the god of hammers who emerges from Mjolnir, or is Mjolnir, on the last page of this issue. What does that mean for Thor? Well, it doesn't look good. 50 copies sold, a 7-day uptrend of 300%, and it had a huge high sale of, get this, $180 for a raw copy for a brand new book.
I'm not going to tell you because we're all going to go get the issue before you guys do, but there's another issue that alludes to the first appearance of the God of Hammers. What's interesting is it's called the God of Hammers, and in Thor Ragnarok, what does Odin tell Thor? He goes, "What? You're not the God of hammers, you're the god of thunder. So it's kind of interesting, that whole play on words. But I always love Simone Bianchi's art, man. Very dope. Very, very dope at all. Very dope. So good to see Thor on the list, man. I haven't seen Thor on the list since, all the stuff with who am I thinking about? Null, right? It's been a while, so it's good to see Thor.
Well, we got some God Butcher stuff. That was nice too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see it. If you haven't seen the leaked photos of Thor in his new costume, here, I'll give you a free one. The costume is predicated on what is his name? Dune God Thor. Dune God Thor is the most powerful version of Thor. It's basically Thor wielding the Odin Force, and that's what that costume is. A lot of people thought it was maybe Thor in the Nova Corps because it's certainly, but it's Rune God Thor. So that's a free one for you to go out and get, and it's pretty cheap too. So go look for it. Just look up first appearance of Rune God Thor, and I believe that's the costume they're going with. And from what I've been hearing, they're going to have Thor very powerful, like wielding the Odin Force. Because you think about it, who is wielding the Odin Force in the MCU right now since Odin passed away? I mean, Thor is kind of the god of thunder, but they can do that storyline and continue on in Thor Ragnarok. So there was some leaked photo art that showed him in his new costume, which looked a little cheesy, but then again, it's it's concept art, and I'm pretty sure it's going to look different on screen. But number 7 on the list is Thor. Number 20, there's Simone Bianchi 1/25 variant. All right, so we take a little break from Thor or Star Wars for number 7. Do we go right back to it in number 6? I don't know. You tell me.
Yes, we do. How about Star Wars Dr. Aphra Annual number 1? This is the David Nakayama cover back in 2017. So this issue features the first solo story of Black Chrysanthemum, kind of an origin about him as well. Due to his high interest in the character and the origins, fans quickly grabbed this annual. 53 copies sold with a 7-day uptrend of 331%. And at a high sale of $45. Wow. Unreal.
Okay, so for those who don't read comic books, in the actual comic book, the Darth Vader storyline, BK, because I don't want to butcher his name because I don't want a Wookiee going after me. Never let the Wookiee win, as Han always says, right? He actually is kind of a partner of Boba Fett. They're kind of bounty hunter, but like they said, you can't trust the den of thieves and villains, right? So, and then after in the Darth Vader series, he's with Boba Fett, and then him and Dr. Aphra kind of have this thing where they're kind of like partners, but then they turn on each other, and it would be great to see Aphra and that story being told in the Disney, yeah.
If you notice in the last episode of Boba Fett, when Boba Fett, has that standoff with the Hutts, that look that Chrysanthemum gives him at the end as he walks away, like, all right, so they had a history. Like Boba, they had a history.
Yeah, but they're bounty hunters, so it's, hey man, whoever's going to pay me, there's no there's no loyalty, but so because it almost looks like Boba Fett gives him a look of like acknowledgement, like he knows who he is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a scary ass looking Wookiee, man. Like, just good advice from Uncle TiVo. Always let the Wookiee win. So Star Wars Dr. Aphra Annual number 1 coming in at number 6. Since we're halfway there, boys and girls, let's hear a word from our sponsor that Ryan and Darkside Jedi have been killing it on lately. Are you tired of paying more than 1%, 10%, 15%? Join the 1% revolution with MySlabs.
Tired of paying 10%, 15%, or more to sell your cards, comics, and digital collectibles? How does 1% sound? Too good to be true? Well, not anymore. MySlabs.com is the web's premier user-driven marketplace for buying and selling slabbed cards, sealed wax, and now slabbed comics and digital collectibles. So the next time you're forced to pay 10% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com and join the 1% revolution.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to sign up as a seller. They're going to just ask you what your social medias are, and it's to say where you heard it from. So you heard it from Lords of the Long Box. So there you go. Number 6 on the list is Star Wars Dr. Aphra Annual number 1. All right, let's get to number 5. Oh, holdover. A little break from a little Thor and Star Wars.
Yeah, a little break up the monotony here. We got Timeless number 1, the Humberto Ramos variant, Miss Minutes variant. So after taking the top spot last week, Miss Minutes retained her hold on the top 10. With a 1 in 50 sketch cover coming, this book may be on the downswing as the focus pivots to that. This week, though, she sold 122 copies, had a 7-day turn of 167%, and a high sale of $240 for a CGC 9.8.
I totally missed the boat on this one. I had no idea that this would be so crazy. I mean, it's the cart leading the horse, though. You know, first appearance was never on the comic book. First appearance came on a show or TV, and then they appeared in the and now they appear in a comic. And just like I think somebody shared it in our private group that the first cover appearance of Grogu and Mandalorian are coming up in Darth Vader number 20 variant. So. We've been talking about it on this show for a while now. I said when the first appearance of Grogu and Mandalorian show up in the comic books, that comic book is going to explode. If he ever gets his own series, it's only a matter of time, right? They got to give him his own series, right? I mean, Marvel isn't stupid. They've seen the gigantic popularity of the Mandalorian and Grogu. Damn it, I'm calling Baby Yoda. Is Mama calling Baby Yoda? I'm calling Baby Yoda. So Grogu is, but yeah, so... Talk to your LCS. Ask them if they're gonna get I think it's cover B. Is that correct, Justin? For
yes.
Yeah. So it's Star Wars 20 or Darth Vader. Star Wars 20, right?
Darth Vader 20.
Darth Vader 20. I'm sorry. So Darth Vader 20 is the first comic cover appearance of the Mandalorian Grogu. The first kind of comic magazine appearance is in the Star Wars magazine. But people, we'll see how that goes. My guess is if the first appearance, this comic cover blows up, people are going to go start looking at that Star Wars magazine where features the first cover of it in, what are the Star Wars fanzine? I have it right here. I forgot what it's called.
Star Wars Insider.
Star Wars Insider. But, there were some other issues of Star Wars Insiders where people were really snatching up too. So why not that one? You know what I mean? But, it didn't get that much traction. So there you go. Because there was the Peach Momoko cover on it, I believe on that Star Wars Insider as well on one of them. So, Timeless, number 1, the first appearance of Miss Minutes. Go figure. Number 5 on the list. All right. What do we got for number 4? Is it Thor or Star Wars?
Well, it's Star Wars number 20. This
is amazing.
This was rather a rather key issue for BK. It features him on a mission to Tatooine from Jabba the Hutt, only to cross paths with Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is how he gets a scar over his eye. Speculation is very confident that we'll now most likely see this battle in the Obi-Wan Disney Plus series. Fingers crossed. Hope to God. Stick a needle in my eye. 83 copies sold, a 7-day uptick of 282%, and it had a high sale of $40 for a raw copy.
Damn it! Do I have this? Damn!
I think I sold all my Star Wars books in an auction.
Because I know I easily have one through 18, 19 or something. This is the regular cover, or is this a variant?
Yeah, regular cover.
I got it then. Jeez, I got to start selling this stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll go on Whatnot. You guys want to see me on Whatnot? I'll kill it with raw sales, man. All right, so number 4 on the list is Star Wars number 20. Man, BK just continues. Man, got more BK in than Burger King, man. You know what pissed me off? The chicken Parmesan sandwich was sold out of my Burger King. Aww. That thing is fucking delicious. I love the McRib, but when Burger King comes out with the chicken Parmesan sandwich, forget about it. It's good for what it is.
Forget about it.
Star Wars number 4 coming in. Star Wars number 20 coming in at number 4. It seems like we're just toggling back and forth here. What do we got for number 3?
Well, if it wasn't another Thor book. Thor number 20. This is the Greg Land, the Villain's Reign variant. Of course, came out last week. So back to the God of Hammers. So the first cameo appearance is in this issue, helped all the covers sell pretty well. The Greg Land cover did sell 68 copies, had a 7-day uptrend of 437%, and a high sale of $30 for a raw copy. Not bad for a badass Thor cover.
I will say this is pretty cool because it's organic, but like Virex and Codex, buyer beware. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean by those certain things? I mean, Gore the God Butcher eventually made it to the MCU when then the continue pushes through, right? But Gore the God Butcher prior to that wasn't that big of a book. But when a certain artist or writer hypes up something, first appearances, this, that, and the other, I mean, you do remember the what was the King in Black and all that other hype, just be careful. But it's cool to see it's organic for now. But if you can get it on a good deal, get it, but don't, break the bank on it. Then what do I know? Maybe it'll appear in the Thor #5. You're going to see, the God of Hammers, but, and people are alluding to it. Odin said he's not the God of Hammers, so that must mean somebody else is the God of Hammers. So here's the thing, because I'm a big Thor fan. So in the Thor run, when Jane Foster, it was in the Thor run before Jane Foster, they kind of retconned the origin of Mjolnir. Mjolnir was before just kind of a blunt instrument, literally. But there's a whole history of how the original history was he was made by elves, but then they kind of gave this cosmic history of him where he was created by this cosmic storm and all these other things. And that's why it was so powerful. And so, they kind of built on those mythos, especially with Jason Aaron's run on Thor. So, really good stuff on Mjolnir. And then if I remember correctly, didn't Jane Foster throw Mjolnir into the sun during her run? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I believe so. That's how it ended. That's how she.
Yeah, that's how that part ended. And then the hammer came back. But I mean, originally, in that story, great story too, by the way, because kind of Jane Foster dying, and but nobody ever dies of cancer. And then then one of the storylines, she actually throws Mjolnir into the sun. I would also tell you there's one of my favorite panels ever is an Avengers book, where I forgot who they were, but Thor basically throws his hammer into space. It rounds the sun, comes back, and goes through a dude's chest. Yeah, that's how badass it was. It was one of those books that were prior to Secret Wars. I forgot what it was, but what they were called. They were the super powerful aliens. And he said, kneel before me, Thor. And so Thor just throws his hammer and he kneels and he just waits and he waits and the hammer comes through. Think about all the gravity, all the speed it gets when it breaks through the atmosphere and goes through this dude's chest and just blowing him up like alien going through his chest. Absolutely awesome. I'm going to have to find that for you. I posted a panel, The Builders. Thank you, Stan Morgan. God, I love artists. You guys are the best, man. Yeah. So in the Avengers storyline, there's a really powerful group of aliens called the Builders, and they come to overtake Earth. And they tell Thor to kneel. Thor is very headstrong, and this is not MCU comedic Thor. This is like Shakespearean Thor, where I will not bend the knee. So he just throws his hammer, he waits, and then the whole story goes. You see Mjolnir go around the sun, picking up more and more speed, and just straight up bursting through this dude's chest. It is so badass. Yes, thank you, Stan Morgan. No, shout out to you, man. Marvel No Prize, man.
Was this the Hickman run?
Yes, I believe so. It was either Avengers or New Avengers. It wasn't a Thor. It wasn't a Thor story. It was an Avengers. It was an Avengers book.
It was like around the time. Yeah, I think I remember that story. Dude, that's bad.
Yeah, the Builders. Yeah. So I'm trying to think. It was like
they're all like weird looking, like yellow dudes, with, like horns and shit, and like real like spacey. It was all in outer space kind of deal.
This is before the Beyonders came into Secret Wars, so I think just right around 2012, 2013, I want to say. But I remember reading that, and I turned the panel. I'm just like, "Whoa, that is
planets
crazy."
colliding at the time. Did
that's Secret
Steve
Wars.
Rogers get zapped by Illuminati? Did they like take him out?
This is in between that. So Doctor Strange wipes out Steve Rogers' memory from the Illuminati. And what you're talking about, the worlds colliding, that's Secret Wars. And right before that is the time with the story with the Builders. I forgot what it's called or what the issues are. There was 2 ongoing Avengers titles at the time. It was Avengers and New Avengers. I forget. It's in one of those storylines. I'll pull it out because I think I
have both of those.
Yeah, it's a great read. If that was one of the great reads of the time. So
actually, it's one of the first storylines I read when I started collecting comics. So I didn't understand it because it's so in depth and it's Hickman. I got to go back now and read it again now that I know what the hell's going on.
Oh yeah, Hickman is yeah. That's
I didn't
why
know
when
what
he
was going on, I couldn't follow it hardly.
When he did the X-Men run, I was like, oh man, there's going to be some deep stuff that we're going to have to dig through. It's like, most of the time you can flip through a comic, and then Hickman, you got to really sit there and kind of read and read, I mean, and to me, that's not a sign, that's not a criticism. That's a good thing. You want to, do you remember as a kid that when you read a comic and maybe it may be the only comic you had, but you absolutely devoured every single panel of every page, just look through it because you didn't want to finish the book, right? Hell, I even like read the goddamn advertisement. And Barry, remember the Doc J commercials for Spalding with Rick Barry of all people. Shout out to Rick Barry it was Rick Barry and Dr. J, and they had an advert for Spalding basketballs. God, how do I remember this trivial stuff? Anyway, number 3 on the list, Thor. Number 20, Greg Land, the Villain's Reign variant. Not to be confused with something else, Ving Rhames. When I read that, I was thinking Ving Rhames. Okay, anyway. All right, so we go from Thor. Are we going back to Star Wars? I don't know. What do we got for number 2?
Number 2, we got Star Wars Darth Vader number 1. So, and here you go, the official first appearance of BK. Wow, did he own this list, right? So, with a massive 161 copies sold, a 7-day trend of 216%, and a high sale of $350 for CGC 9.8. Almost every variant for this issue has hit a new high sales, with the highest going to the 2 Alex Ross covers.
Not bad at all. This is the one I have. And this is still a dope cover. You ever seen that commercial? What is that commercial of the funny guy with the leisure pants where he's in that stance, I'm talking about the Darth Vader. But this entire Darth Vader run has got some great covers on it. So it's kind of dope to see this. So I'm glad that this is the only one that I have, because unfortunately back in 2015, I was pulling all Darth Vader issues, but I wasn't pulling like every single variant. Also, you have to realize 2015 is not the same as it is in 2022, where, there was trillions of variants, the dark days of comic book shops started right around 2009, 2010, right? Where orders started getting smaller. In 2015, things started really jumping up, right? And then almost to a point where there were too many variants, especially in 2015. If you're doing the Secret Wars tie-ins, it got ridiculous after a while if you were pulling all variants. But back in the day, I used to be able to say, yeah, give me every cover that came with it. And then and I did that with Strange Academy. And my God, I would have like 6, 7 different covers. But you know what? I'm fine with it now because Strange Academy books are hot. But there you go, man. So number 2 on the list is Star Wars, Darth Vader. Number 1. All right, boys and girls, what do you think? Number 1 or number 2 is Star Wars Darth Vader number 1. What do you think number 1 is?
Well, if you guessed Thor, you are a winner. Well, BK dominated this top 10 list. It had 6 books. Jeez. The God of Hammers was easier to find due to its recent release. This helped 207 copies sell with a 7-day uptrend of 309%. And it had a high sale for $30 for a raw. It'll be interesting really to see where this book goes, especially with the legend of the God of Hammers.
Yeah, so if you played the over, you won, right? The over under was 5.5, and we had 6 on the list. So there you go, man. So man, I gotta go see if I can. I do not have Thor number 20. I don't know why I stopped pulling Thor. It was probably because of the new the change of new writer. I always get confused on what's happening. So Thor number 20 on the list. Some good old God of Hammers. Speaking of some dope covers, make sure tomorrow go to KRSComics.com. Check out the Edge of Spider-Verse number 2 facsimile variant from Mike Mayhew. Goes on sale at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Use discount code of LOTLB to save yourself some ducats for McRibs or a chicken Parmesan sandwich from Burger King. Right? Sandwich. I'm sorry, I'm hungry. That's why. So, yeah. Hey, thank you guys all for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed your 2022. This is the first time we had the regular crew on here for 2022, the top 10 list. Any last words, Darkside Jedi?
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Looking forward to Thursday night. That top 10 is always a fun one. This top 10 is an awesome one, too. I'm impressed. I'm not surprised that Black Chrysanthemum has made the list this week. I'm surprised that there were 6 books. I didn't think people were pulling cover appearances. That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
2022, baby.
I think we even talked about it last week. Like, hey, how many Star Wars books are going to be on this week's? Because we never guessed it was going to be 6. But I'm pretty sure Justin's happy. Any last words, Justin?
Yeah, I just want to see Dr. Aphra.
Yeah. Justin's selling about 15 Darth Vader number 3s if you're interested.
That $533 high sale is just making my heart so much. What did I say to you guys in our private chat? I said, once she shows up and that book becomes expensive, I'll fly you guys all out to Mohegan Sun. We'll go party.
There we go. I'm gonna hold you to that.
There we go. Hopefully we can get with our favorite artist, Tom King, at the Mohegan Sun, right?
Yeah.
Manimal, any last words?
No, fun list. I mean, a little repetitive, but still kind of fun. Obviously a lot of hype from the recent
episode. What are you talking about? We had Timeless in there.
Yeah, Timeless, yeah, right? Yeah. And Thor, shit, man. But no, it's fun to see, the shows kind of spikes things up. It's nice. But I also like the episode or the weeks where we just get like all random ass books too. So
well, Lisa wasn't a first appearance of Corona on here. We wish for that, but it just goes to show the power of Star Wars live action. Like remember last year when Ahsoka Tano, Thrawn were dominating this list. So don't sleep on those Star Wars book. Like we've been telling you and Justin has been showing you. There's like they said, there's gold in there hills. So, luckily I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So I was pulling all these books. I have all, unfortunately I don't have like all the exclusive variants like that 1 in 100. Damn. Do you even have that one, Justin?
No, it's funny. I don't have that one. I have a few other ones, but not
because that's a large order 1 in 100, even for, maybe not Star Wars. Cause I remember when Star Wars came out, if you think about, when Star Wars came out, there was a tons of variants for it. Think about like how they ratcheted up for when High Republic came out and the amount of books for that. So watch watch tonight for the Book of Boba Fett at midnight if you're on the West Coast, and there may be some other characters that pop up. That's right. Also, Peacemakers on Thursday. I can't wait to see that, man. Purists, Zack Snyder fans are hating on it, but from what I understand, it's a fun, goofy time, and anytime you could have a pet eagle named Eagly, I'm down. So for Manimal, Darkside Jedi, and Nemesis Prime, this is TiVo, and as always, boys and girls, we'll see you Thursday for the Cover Price Shaker Show. Until next time, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out and stay safe.
Now let's do this. Rewind, select, and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last. Jump.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is faithful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it! We're here! We're back! Word up! Here's to a job! You can't get fresher than this.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice.
Oh, how so?
I'll be